In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Josh fans. Here we are after Royal Rumble with our Royal Rumble review. Now, we're going to take a look at the events of this evening, or maybe last night, depending on when you get around to viewing it. In the pre-show, we had a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match where Jack Swagger and Mark Henry defeated the Ascension to qualify for the Royal Rumble. We'll get into their impact a little bit later when we get to the Rumble match itself. Overall, the match was decently paced, a few decent spots, but, you know, just the typical opening contest. The Intercontinental Championship that actually opened the actual pay-per-view event was the Last Man Standing match between Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. Fantastic opener to start the show, though I feel the actual ending to the match was a little lame. I mean, after all the big spots and the finishers and the table drops, what finally put Kevin Owens down was Dean Ambrose touching his butt and making him fall off the top rope through a couple of tables. Seriously, this is a man that was already put through a table twice. Tag Team Championship was up next. The New Day defended against the Usos, and the win for the match would come after Big E tagged himself in, unbeknownst to the Uso currently in the ring, and would catch the Uso with the big ending and finish the match. Too much fanfare, along with Francesca II. The audience was firmly behind the New Day this evening, as is typical for a Royal Rumble crowd to be populated with a great number of, I guess we'll call us smarts. The U.S. Championship was next, where Kalisto took on Alberto Del Rio for Alberto Del Rio's United States Championship. Kalisto would pick up the win after delivering his second finisher to Del Rio after Del Rio hit the turnbuckle that he had uncovered. Kalisto is now a two-time United States champion, and quite ironically, the United States champion was decided amongst two Mexicans. Take that, Donald Trump. Take that. Next up, we had our Divas Championship match, where reigning champion Charlotte defended against Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch ended up in a lip lock with Ric Flair, which is what he used to distract the challenger, the feisty, fiery little ass kicker, and unfortunately led ultimately to a victory by Charlotte after additional interference from Ric Flair. Post-match, Sasha Banks would come out, hit Charlotte with the bank statement, and declare that she was the uncrowned Divas Champion, or at least that's my interpretation of the event. Finally, we got up to the Royal Rumble time. One versus all. Roman Reigns defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against 29 other competitors. Perhaps one of the biggest shocks was number 3, AJ Styles entering the Royal Rumble and continuing on for a great distance until finally Kevin Owens would come in and toss him. So much displeasure from the arena audience. However, I would have to say that it was probably one of the best moves to eliminate AJ Styles with Kevin Owens, and if anyone could really handle the heat caused from that, it would be KO himself, another favorite of the internet fans and the fans in attendance. To quickly recoup the loss of fanfare when AJ Styles was eliminated, immediately afterwards Sami Zayn would come out, much to the displeasure of Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens would ultimately be eliminated, I believe actually by Sami Zayn, and Sami would make a decent run in the Rumble. Earlier on, Roman Reigns would be not necessarily eliminated, but taken out by members of the League of Nations, with the exception of King Barrett, who was supposed to be in the Royal Rumble, but never actually showed. Nor was he involved in the beatdown on Roman Reigns. He was seen only once earlier in the night in a roundtable meeting of sorts in the League of Nations, where they declared that one of them would walk out the champion. The actual winner of the Royal Rumble and new WWE World Heavyweight Champion would be the King of Kings, Triple H, who entered at number 30. The final 6 men in the ring were Bray Wyatt, who was eliminated by Sheamus and the King of Kings. Roman Reigns, who would make a shocking return to Superman Punch Sheamus. Note the shocking return. Chris Jericho. And finally, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph would be the first of the 6 eliminated, followed by Bray Wyatt. Dean Ambrose would toss Chris Jericho, and I believe he also tossed Sheamus. Or maybe that was Reigns. Reigns would be tossed by Triple H, and then finally Triple H would eliminate Dean Ambrose after Dean Ambrose nearly eliminated Triple H. A number of individuals would have been incredibly surprised and shocked if Dean Ambrose had left with both the Intercontinental and WWE World Heavyweight Championships. Unfortunately, that was not to be. We now have a new 14-time World Champion Triple H. And now that the landscape has begun to change in the WWE, with AJ Styles debuting as AJ Styles in the Royal Rumble, and to such a large ovation, I expect many things to come from him down the line, particularly in perhaps a minor feud with Kevin Owens, the man who eliminated him. Could be a great series of matches between the two of them, but only time will tell for us. Now that's the review portion of this episode of the Josh Says, and pretty much the end of things, but all I want to get into with you now is to let you know that we will be returning this season with a brand new set of episodes for the Josh Says, highlighting during the road to Wrestlemania and perhaps a little beyond. Now, I personally have not been an avid viewer as of late to the WWE product, not since the night Roman Reigns became the #1 contender for Seth Rollins' title. I think it was after maybe Hell in a Cell, maybe. I don't remember. No, before Hell in a Cell. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. I don't remember. Anyway, we'll be back again in maybe a couple weeks, and hopefully we'll have more to talk about with the future of AJ Styles and the new NXT signee Austin Aries. Thank you for watching, and, see you again soon.